Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. We are hosting today's webinar titled Reducing Errors and Saving Time with Patent Bots. So first and foremost, welcome again, everyone. Thank you all for taking some time from your day to join us. My name is Katie, and I am the Customer Success Manager here at Patent Bots. And I am also joined by my amazing colleague, Jennifer Maloof. Jennifer is our customer success specialist. And between the two of us, we're going to take you on a very nice overview and demo of the PatentBots platform. A couple of housekeeping items before we jump on in. Today's session is being recorded, so everyone who registered will receive a link to view the recording at a later time. And as we are going through the demonstration today, we do encourage you to use the Q&A or the chat function that is located in the center, the very bottom of the Zoom screen. You can use that Q&A at any time to ask questions, and Jennifer will be monitoring that. So thank you, Jennifer. We will also save time at the very end to answer some of those questions live, and you'll also have the chance to ask any questions live. So with that, I am going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. So this is the intro slide, PatentBots, Smarter Tools, Stronger Patents. And the way that we like to begin our webinars and our demos is just by giving everyone this high-level overview of the entire platform and everything that is included. So whether you are new to PatentBots, whether you're here for a refresher or just wanting to know what the new features are, we will be covering all the products. We won't be able to go fully in depth to see every capability and every feature, but today's session will provide you with a really great overview. And we'll begin at the top here on the left with Prep and Pros Pro. Prep and Pros Pro tends to be a fan favorite. And what we do there is provide automated tools. We do have optional Gen AI functions available for drafting patent applications, OA responses. We can do automated proofreading of those same documents. And we also have a very nice subset of tools that are really designed for your support staff to really help with that whole full practice workflow. Next on the list is the Art Unit Predictor. This is a tool that we have designed to, of course, predict the USPTO groups and art units that your patent application will be assigned to. And the nice thing about the Predictor tool is that we show you all of the important words that are used to make this prediction. So the Predictor tool is a function that you will use prior to filing that application, and you can use it to steer it into more preferred art units. Next on the list happens to be one of my personal favorites, and it is called PatentPlex. And ideally, what we're doing there is providing you with a one-stop shop for information about US as well as European patents. There's about a dozen different things that PatentPlex can do. High level, it's going to be automatic generating of your patent family trees, prosecution timelines, and we have a handful of really great claim analysis tools. Moving over to the right side, we will touch on our examiner stats. You may be familiar with them. We do give a very small portion of it away for free, but we do have our premium examiner stats, which are going to give you, chock full of different analytics, including appeal stats and information, really everything that an attorney needs to make the best decisions possible during prosecution. We have customers who also love the examiner stats for managing those client expectations. And of course, we all love happy clients. So the use case here would be examiner stats. And the last two products that we'll touch upon today, these were really designed for our corporate in-house patent teams. The first here is going to be PatentLink. I consider this to be an alerting and monitoring tool. And what it allows you to do is curate these custom and interactive list of patents, whether you are creating a list for monitoring your overall portfolio quality, you want to monitor competitors, due diligence projects, The list is automatically synced with the USPTO and provides you with the most updated information on any patent on a list that you create. And then last but not least, you may have heard of PatentBot's quality rankings. And the PatentVerse product here is designed for our in-house patent teams to gain insight into that overall patent quality, that portfolio. It's a great resource to use when you are vetting outside counsel and even managing outside counsel and the quality of their work. So that is the long short overview of everything that we're going to see today. As I mentioned, we will start with Prep and Pros Pro and just work our way through each of the products. Again, we're not going to see the entire capability, but you will get a very nice general overview of the functionality. So for Prep and Pros Pro, the best way for us to start is, of course, by opening up a partially drafted patent application. When you're using PatentBot's tools, you can start with a blank Word document or a template. It does not matter. For the best user experience, we do recommend that you install the Microsoft Word add-in, and you can see that I do have that installed. And through this add-in, this is going to provide us with that quick and easy access to the PatentBot's tools right from Microsoft Word, which is where a lot of us spend a large portion of our day working anyway. I'm going to start with our drafting tools for patent applications. So just a click here of the drafting automation icon right through that ribbon. And if we look on the right-hand side here, this is opened up side by side with our working document. Up at the top here, the tool recognized this as being an application. If I were to open up an office action response, the tool would recognize that and provide you with the appropriate drafting tools for office action responses. We won't be able to see the office action drafting tools today, but please know that it is a capability and feature that we do offer. All right, so let's take a little look about of what we can do here with the drafting tools. Here in the middle, you notice these different tabs. These are for all of the different functions that you have access to within the drafting tool. And the first tab here is a simple navigation tool. It allows you to quickly navigate to the different sections of your application. And for the next tab, I'm actually going to jump down to our claims. And this tab relates specifically to claims. And there's two smart automation tools that we offer here. That first smart automation is going to be the claim renumbering function. And I find that this is very helpful when you have your claims drafted, and let's say you're working with the inventor and you decide that you need to insert a new claim. Well, once you insert that new claim, you have to redo your numbering and update dependencies. And all of that is very tedious, and it of course allows for human error. So I'm going to actually go ahead and demonstrate this function so you can see how easy and how fast it is to quickly renumber your claims. So I'm jumping in here right in between my drafted claims 1 and 2, and I'm going to insert a brand new unique claim number as well as a new claim. I'll spell it right. And it doesn't really matter what it says. But this is just an example. I've added that new claim. And once I click this renumber claims button, if you watch the document here, you watch all the numbering and the dependencies, this is going to be updated automatically. So again, just a quick click of that renumber claims, and about 3 seconds, I now have all of the claims properly updated. They've been renumbered, as well as those dependencies. And this does work for multiple dependencies. So this is just a very quick example of some of the smart automation that you have access to here in the drafting tool. I'll go ahead and remove that claim, and I can hit the renumber claims button, which is putting my claims back the way that they were. The next smart automation tool here is for reference labels. I will just skip over this probably briefly here. This allows us to insert and remove reference labels to and from the claims. A great resource if you are moving back and forth between the US and Europe. Very nice time saver. The next tab that we are seeing here is for reference labels. And this is a really exciting tab here. And it is excellent when you are drafting the detailed description section of your application. So you can see that this one is already drafted. And what the tool does for us on the reference label tab, as we draft this section, it is automatically pulling the text along with that reference label right from the description, right from the Word document here. So when I type voice collection system 100, the tool is going to automatically and dynamically populate this parts list, if you will. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate adding a new reference label. I'll do that here at the end of paragraph 5. And we'll go ahead and call it computer device, and we'll go 175. And we can just continue typing, doesn't really matter what it says. Dismiss that. So you can see here, I added a new reference label, computer device 175. This table on the right-hand side automatically updates every 30 seconds. I won't make you wait. So I'll go ahead and hit that refresh now button. And we see computer device 175 has automatically been captured. So this is a really excellent way to ensure consistency, that you're using the appropriate text with all of those reference labels throughout your document. We do have typing autocompletes, which are really exciting as well. It will help you cut down on the time that you're spending manually here in this particular section. So as we are drafting, you very well know that we might have to type voice collection system 100, 20, 30 times, and doing that manually is not a great use of any attorney's time. So at the end of paragraph 5, again, if you look here, instead of manually typing that out, I am actually going to insert the label number followed by 2 slashes. And you see we do that autocomplete. So this is going to help you streamline the drafting of the description, cut down on all that tedious manual drafting. We also allow custom shortcuts to be made that you can use here to, again, save you time on some of that, standard paragraph language that you don't want to manually type out. You can create your own custom typing shortcuts. Next tab here is for figures. This is where we can actually easily renumber figures. I'm not going to show that here. I'm just going to go ahead and skip over to the last 3 tabs because this is some new and very exciting stuff that relates to both generative AI and rules-based generation. And the rules-based generation is our next tab. And what you're going to see here, this is PatentBots providing you generation tools that does not use generative AI. So the way that we do this is actually by repurposing text that you have already provided to us here in the Word document. And the way that I see this being valuable for most of our PatentBots customers, of course, depending on your personal drafting style, but typically you'll draft the claims and the detailed description first. Those are the 2 meaty sections of the application. And once you have those sections complete, you can come to the rules-based tab here, and you can one-click fill in what I consider to be these more administrative or routine sections of the application. And these are all just one-click generation tools. So for example, I want to go ahead and generate the brief description of the figures. I simply place my cursor right here at paragraph 4, and one click of that generate button allows the tool to go ahead and generate automatically. This is not magic, nor is it AI. The way that we do this is by scanning the text of the detailed description, and we're looking for the most relevant sentence for each one of those figures. So this is a great example of very black and white and predictive text. You know exactly what you are going to get when using the rules-based generation because you've already provided it to us. We're repurposing that text. And I'll go ahead here and just generate that claim summary. So you can see that. And this is a rewrite of my claims. There is customization available for some of these generation functions. We have the ability to generate claim clauses. So claim clauses, whether you use the term clause or embodiment, is typically used for literal support in your PCT applications. This tile on the right-hand side, this relates specifically to flowcharts. And these, again, are all one-click generation tools. We can generate a PowerPoint or Visio flowchart from all of your claims, or you can select the claim here from the dropdown. And I will go ahead and demonstrate this just so you can see how quickly this product is able to generate an entire flowchart. So what was that? Maybe 3 seconds. You can see here, this is automatically generated in PowerPoint. All right. So jumping back over to the Word document that you see here, I am going to head on into the last two drafting tabs. And you can see here, these are different from the rules-based. These are true generative AI functionalities. Our Gen AI tools are turned off by default, and they can only be turned on by a subscription administrator. So again, you do have those back-end controls as to enabling the Gen AI. And there's two different functions here. The first one we're going to talk about is our Gen AI prompts. Hopefully you've heard of a prompt before, but if you have not, it's very easy to understand, and I'm happy to kind of talk about those. And there are three ways to use prompts here within our drafting tool. And if I come down here to this second gray tile, you'll see the different sections. We have a bank, I'll call it, for PatentBot's prompts. These are all prompts that PatentBot's development team has created for you to use. So these are pre-written prompts that any user can jump into this drafting tool and use immediately. If you would like to see the prompt, you're noticing this eyeball here, you can click on it and we provide you with the text of that prompt. So you know exactly what the prompt and the task is asking the AI to complete. And these are all one touch if you'd like to use it. For example, I'm going to go ahead and use one of our prompts to generate a title. And I just removed that section header, and I'm placing my cursor right at the top of the Word document, of course, where I want to generate that title. And I can go ahead and hit that, I'll call it a play button. And you see that that has now generated a title for us. With our true Gen AI tools, you have the option to include these AI generated tags, if you will. These are in brackets and they're highlighted. You have the option to enable those, which I find very helpful because it's a nice reminder so you can see exactly what is manually generated by you, the attorney, and what is AI generated. So you do have that option. If you don't want to see it, you can simply toggle it on and off. The next section here is going to be organization prompts. So these are prompts that your firm or your company has provided. Your subscription administrator can add those in, and then you're able to share prompts with one another with your teammates. And then the last way to utilize prompts is going to be by creating your own. And with a click of this Create Gen AI prompt, you will be provided with this text dialog. You can give your prompt a name, and then you provide the text. But the nice thing, in addition to these prompts, I'm going to direct your attention to the top here. You can now attach up to 3 supplemental documents to be used within these Gen AI tools. So this will be used most typically, it's an invention disclosure. I'll go ahead and show you how we do that, but it can be prior art. Anything that you want to use to accompany the Gen AI, you can simply attach it here. So I'm going to go ahead and just select a invention disclosure. I'll go ahead and upload that. You can see that the document is now uploaded. You do have the option to give it a description. I'll go ahead and skip that. And you can see this pink or red text is showing the document that is being used with the Gen AI. And of course, anything AI, trust but verify. So, you know what? I'm going to click on this eyeball here and I want to see the exact text. And you can do just that. You're seeing the text of the document. Again, this was an invention disclosure. So, all of this text here, this is what we extracted and it will be used within the Gen AI tools. All right. So I'm going to jump over to the last Gen AI tab here, which is the chat. Very similar to the prompts, this does allow you to attach up to 3 again. And this is a way for you to interact in real time with the Gen AI agent. So down at the bottom here, this is very typical of any AI products that you've used. You have the text box here, which allows you to insert your prompt or your question, whatever it is that you need to assist you in the drafting process. So I am actually going to just copy and paste one that I have here. I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. And what I've asked is for the chat to use the invention disclosure and draft an independent claim. So we're going to go ahead and send that through. This lilac box here, that remains the input, and the gray is going to be the output. Just a couple of high level notes while this is thinking. We have 0 data retention. With our generative AI tools, nothing is ever stored or used for training models. We don't share inputs, outputs, and any of the abuse monitoring is automated, meaning that a human never sees it. All right, so let's take a look at what the chat provided us. So again, asked it to use that invention disclosure, draft us an independent claim. What you're going to see here, this is essentially the chat telling you what it did. Using that invention disclosure, I chose a method claim as an independent claim, etc. This next section here provides us with the actual generated text. So here it's giving me that claim 1 that I did ask for. And then the last section here is going to be notes. This is just some explanatory text, as I would consider it to be, just some notes so you can see exactly, like what it did, why it did it. But after you, of course, review, trust but verify, after you have reviewed this first independent claim, if this is something that you want to use within the application here, we make it very easy by using this black arrow button here. This will automatically insert the text directly into the document. And I'll just show you. I'll just jump down to my claims here. And let me go to the bottom, actually. I'm just going to stick it here at the bottom for today's purposes. I put my cursor in and just clicking on this black arrow. Again, I choose to have those AI generated tags on, and we can see that that's been nicely implemented into the document. So again, this really nice interface here where it allows you to interact with the Gen AI chat along with any document that you have attached. So that actually concludes everything that I wanted to show for the drafting tools. Jen, I'm going to pause. Is there anything in the chat that we want to answer?
Not so far, but I will keep my eye on it in case there's anything that pops up.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. And I'm going to quickly generate a background section. So when I show you all the awesome proofreading, we have something of substance here, and it's not going to show red that it's missing an entire background section. So I'm using one of the PatentBots prompts here for the background. So it's thinking. There we go. Thank you very much. All right, so we have that background section in. Up here, I'm just going to close out of the drafting tool, and I'm going to jump right into the proofreading functionality. So this, we imagine here, this is our completed first draft. And before it gets sent off for review by, to a senior level attorney or a client, of course, you want to proofread it and looking for any critical mistakes that might be in this application. Very similar to the drafting tool as far as usability and the interface here, we have tabs across the center for all of the different things that the tool checks for. And throughout the proofreading section here, you're going to notice that there's color coordination. So red highlights and red boxes always indicate an error. That is clearly an error that needs an attorney's attention to fix. Yellow always indicate a warning. So again, this is essentially a flag to you, the attorney, that this is something you need to review and determine if it is in fact an error. So the first tab here is numbering. And what I really want to spend time on is the antecedent basis tab here. Essentially, this is a key part of proofreading, and it's very easy to make mistakes with antecedents. In addition to that color coding or color coordination, you're going to notice that the proofreading tool is extremely interactive. We really geared to make this as easy as possible for you to, number one, diagnose the issue, and then number two, quickly fix it and move on with your life. So I can demonstrate how quick and easy it is to use the antecedent tab. Here on the proofreading panel, you are seeing green, yellow, and red. Green indicates we found an antecedent, you did a great job, nothing to do there. However, that yellow indicates a warning. And this here means that we found a partial antecedent match. So for me, I need to take a deeper look at this and see if this is in fact a true antecedent issue. And I can click right on that yellow highlight, and you have this interactive nature. And what it does, it takes me directly to the line in the claim where it's flagged this potential antecedent issue. The second thing it does, it even helps me determine, okay, well, what in fact is the issue here? And we do that by bolding where these words appear within the claim. So looking back, I can see that this is referring to the first authentication credentials. And sure enough, we've missed the word first. And what I can do is easily now add the word first right into that line. And I want to redo the proofreading because I want to see that gone. And you're noticing that that yellow box has turned green because we've appropriately fixed that antecedent issue. All of the other tabs work the exact same. We look for word support in the spec, phrase support. We will look at inconsistencies with your reference labels, and we can do that by up at the top here, you can add up to 2 drawing files, PowerPoint, Visio, or PDF. And again, that same color coding will allow you to see any warnings as well as errors where you've been inconsistent with reference labels. We'll check figure numbers, profanity, not real profanity. Hopefully, you're not using true profanity in your applications. If you are, that I won't say anything else. But this is, of course, as we know it, to be limiting words. And we provide a list of default words. This is fully customizable. So I'm sure that many of you have clients who do not like certain words used within their applications. And that's the exact purpose of the profanity tab. I'm going to skip over the art unit tool for now. I will come back to that. But as far as proofreading goes, last but certainly not least, this is one of our newer items that we've added to the proofreading, and it is that true Gen AI review. And there's essentially two types of things that Gen AI is really great at reviewing documents. The first one here is looking for any typos, grammatical mistakes. The second way that it's really helpful is when you need to review a document for consistency. So in this matter here, it's going to look for inconsistent or conflicting technology terms and uses. I'll go ahead and get that Gen AI review started. It takes about 15 to 20 seconds, depending on how long the application is. If you have a 500-page application, then you might want to grab a cup of coffee. Give this a second to go. And one thing that we have, we've been very impressed with Gen AI, particularly the review. Um, I can tell you with this particular application, I know that 5 humans reviewed it, just reading it manually with their own eyes. And the majority of the typos and grammatical mistakes were not caught by the human eye. And here I'm going to show you, we just ran the Gen AI review, and you're going to see a lot of typo grammatical mistakes. So again, we have that yellow, or not yellow, we have the red and green highlighting. The red highlighting indicates how it appears in the document. So here at paragraph 14, I'm going to use that navigation button so we can focus in on our paragraph 14. The drafter used the word obtaining. However, Gen AI in green makes a suggested change. So it's saying that it should be obtain, which I do agree with. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that green highlight. And here it's showing you the strike through, meaning, all right, it got rid of obtaining, and that underline, it's been replaced with obtain. After we had made that change, we also highlight the exact place where it has been changed. So you can, of course, verify and double check that that is correct. So some really great tools here. Always want to proofread any application or office action response, of course, before it goes for any type of review. I promised that I would come back to the Art Unit Predictor. There are 2 ways to access the Art Unit Predictor. The first way is here, right within Word. You can also access it via our website. But since I already am here, I'm just going to show it to you in Word. So as I mentioned before, the Art Unit Predictor is making predictions on USPTO groups and art units that an application will be assigned to. Very easy to get started. You're seeing this Run Art Unit button. We'll go ahead and click that. It's processed the text of my Word document here. And I typically skip over the group predictions and only really focus on the art units. Tends to just be a little more interesting. Um, and we're going to take a look. You can see here in this table, PatentBots gives you the top 5 art units that were predicted. And the reason that we give you the top 5 are for 2 reasons. One, it's a very difficult prediction to make. And the second reason being, you want to ensure that you are comfortable and happy being assigned to any one of the top 5 art units that we predict. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, this application has been drafted so well that this isn't a great example. The grant rates here actually look pretty good. I'm fairly happy in the high 70s and 80 percentage as far as grant rates. However, let's say these grant rates were in the 30% and 40%, and there was a very significant chance of being assigned to a very ugly business method art unit, which nobody wants. The way that our tool helps you steer an application towards a more preferred art unit is down at the bottom here. This blue tool that runs across the center is going to show you all of the groups and art units that were predicted. And it's your job to go through each of those art units and look at the words that were of importance when we made these predictions. So there's going to be a couple of typical words. There's going to be like customer, certain things, customer service representative. Those are all, indicative of business method art units. So what we would do here is review these, and we would need to come up with changes using generic terms. Seem to be a very helpful strategy when directing a patent application. Also, using technology specific words and phrases tends to send messages to the USPTO that will get it into the correct art unit. And the nice thing about using the Art Unit Predictor in Word is you can make those changes live here in the document. And after you make them, you rerun it to see what those new predictions are. So I probably don't need to tell you, but using the Art Unit Predictor tool, it's a very iterative process. You're not going to make one change and it's going to change, all top 5 predictions. You will have to play with it, change multiple words. But I find the more you use it, the better you get at steering to different art units. And Jen, I'm going to pause there. Any questions in the chat? Anything we need to address?
We do have one. Just wanted to ask if I need to or would like to provide these proofreading results to someone else. Can I do that in any way?
I love that question. Thank you for asking. You most certainly can. And this is going to lead very nicely into what I want to show next. I'm jumping over to our website. You're not able to export those proofreading results within Word. The only place you can do it is here on our website. So I'm just simply at patentbots.com. I'm going to go ahead and log in. On the left column here, this dark blue column, you can see this gives you access to all of the PatentBots tools. And in fact, the only tool or feature that really requires the use of that Microsoft add-in is, of course, going to be the drafting tool because we need access to the Word document. But let me show you exactly what you're asking for. So I can go here to the proofreading tab. It will ask me to select a cloud provider. I'm just going to go with Amazon. And then here, there are different sections. So we have proofreading a patent application, pub or patent number, proofreading an office action, or a claim set. I'm going to go ahead and just select the application here. And bear with me while I grab a application. Go ahead, do that. I'm going to skip the drawings just so I can quickly get to what I'd like to show you. These tabs at the top here are the same exact tabs that you would have access to in the Microsoft Word add-in. However, the difference is you see this printer icon up at the top right. I'll go ahead and click that, and it allows me here to save this as a PDF, or of course I can print it. And we'll go ahead and jump down. So each tab on that proofreading result is a page of its own. So the numbering and dependency errors are going to be its own page. That next tab for antecedent basis errors is going to be its own page. So you could quickly save this as a PDF, attach it to an email, and go ahead and provide it to your recipient. Thank you for the question.
Thank you for taking care of that, Katie. Appreciate it.
Yes. All right. So the next 2 features in Prep and Pros Pro, these relate to office actions. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to cover both of them. So I'm going to skip Explorer, but I do recommend checking it out. It's an excellent resource to look at prior art to help you with your drafting of your office action response. But what I did want to ensure that I cover is our OA admin tool. Just because there's so many new things here, it's such a time saver for your entire patent practice, whether it's you or your paralegal support staff. This is the starting page for admin. You can quickly enter in an application number to get started. You'll note if the application number or if the application is not public, PatentBots provides a direct login to Patent Center. So here I can click that login button. We would use our USPTO credentials. And again, this is now going to log you in and allow us to retrieve office actions for any of those unpublished applications. And I'm going to go ahead and use one of my recents here just to get us started. Here is the admin page. At the top left, this is all of our fun, typical application data. We have our history, which here for each office action gives you some additional launch options. But I really want to focus on, the main features of admin here. And I'm just going to go down the line and briefly describe them. The first is where we can automatically generate your OA response shell. PatentBots provides every user with a default template, but we also allow firms and, of course, in-house teams to upload any custom response shells. And this is all very easy to do. We can select our template, we select our response type, we give the tool the previous claims, which can be from the application or, of course, from a previous office action. It does not matter. The practitioner dropdown is already pre-populated with practitioners associated to this application. So those quick and easy steps, I hit create shell, and 3 to 4 seconds, this is going to open up that generated shell. And you can see at the top here, all of the header information. We grab that automatically right from the USPTO. We populate that for you. Probably most importantly is going to be in the claims here. Based on that previous version of the claims, we automatically import this clean version of the claims. So this is ready to go. All the status identifiers have been updated. So again, with just a couple of mouse clicks, you have a full generated shell. And the last part of this that I wanted to show is going to be the rejections. So depending on the rejection, we did not have any 101s, thankfully, but we did have this 103. And you can see PatentBots pulls in all of that 103, that claim information for us automatically. So it saves you or your paralegal from having to manually type it in there or copy and paste it. All right, back to the admin page. That's the only tool that I'm going to be able to demonstrate here. We do have the ability to fill out USPTO IDS form, so that's going to be your SBO8. It is a very click-friendly IDS generation, a couple of steps to get that IDS generated, which can be very time-consuming if you're doing it manually. No one wants to do it manually, so we recommend using this IDS form generator. USPTO PDF forms, very tedious, time consuming. So we have a pre-populated list of the PDF forms that you can select from here, and we will grab information directly from the USPTO to populate those. Your pesky reporting letters for clients, we can do letters as well as emails. And generating Word forms, such as a declaration or assignment, really any form that's not going to be in the USPTO PDF form, you can automatically generate here in Word. So lots of really great time-saving functions for you and support staff here when you're working with an office action. And that's all I wanted to cover for Prep and Pros Pro. Anything in the chat? Any other questions before we move on to PatentPlex?
Just a quick one, a question about, does PatentBot supply us with templates or can we build our own?
Great question. PatentBots will supply you with a default template, so everyone has access to that. However, you can create your own custom templates, and I'll show you how easy it is to do it just by clicking on this instructions link. It's going to take you to our help article. And essentially, for your response shells, your word forms, as well as reporting letters, we provide you with the placeholders that you can insert into the document. And anywhere there is a placeholder, PatentBots will automatically populate that information. So extremely easy to create your own custom templates. All right. Thank you for that. I'm going to jump into PatentPlex. Lots of really great things to see here. PatentPlex is awesome for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons I like it is because there's something for everyone. Whether you are an attorney, an agent, paralegal, an office manager, if you're prosecuting, if you're litigating, there is benefit and value in PatentPlex for anyone on your patent team. Very easy to kind of get started. Here you'll notice this search box, and we begin by entering any patent number. You can see the different formats that are allowed, apps, pubs, grants, all the fun stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just enter in this grant. So I'll select that punctuation. And what we're doing here is we are gathering literally as much information about this patent as anyone really cares to have. The overview tab is going to be some of the main characters here, are the main features. And I actually like to start down at the bottom here with the two graphical tools. The first graphical tool is going to be, of course, this patent family tree that we create automatically for you. The patent family tree includes US provisionals, PCTs, European patents, as well as foreign patents. This tree is customizable using the checkboxes that you see here. So example of one that I like to see is going to be the status. I'll go ahead and update that. And as you can see, within a couple of seconds, the tree is now updated to include the status. You'll notice the last option here on the right. You can export this patent family tree. So a lot of clients enjoy seeing, their portfolios and this patent family tree. It's a very nice visual. It's also helpful for business development. When you're generating a pitch deck for a client, you can easily generate and export this patent family tree for those purposes. The next visual tool here is going to be the patent timeline. And this is really a visual summary of everything that has taken place in the lifetime of this patent. So anything here on the left behind this red line, which is the current date, these are the events that have taken place. And everything on the right here is going to be upcoming. So here we're mainly seeing those maintenance fee due dates, expiration dates. We do include PTA. However, we don't check for terminal disclaimers related to the expiration date. All right. And then we're going to jump over to the right side of the page here for the patent tools. And you can see there are a handful of awesome patent tools here to choose from. We do have a brief description of each tool. The one that I'm going to show you is the Ask Gen AI tool, just because it's one of the newest and it's probably one of my favorites here. It's super cool. And there are two ways to use the Gen AI tool here in PatentPlex. The first way we're going to use it is to ask Gen AI a question about this patent or its entire prosecution history. And this will take just a second or two to populate because we are grabbing this information directly from the USPTO in real time. And this is the interface. So this first column that you see here, this is where you are going to ask your question, again, about this patent or its prosecution history. One of my favorites is to summarize the office action rejections. Now, we could very well read each office action and summarize it ourselves, and that might take 40, 45 minutes. Instead, I'm using the Gen AI to review and summarize all of those office actions for us. So here in a matter of seconds, we can see that there were two office actions in this prosecution history. The examiner issued three types of rejections. Wow, got one of each. We have a 101, 102, 103. So this is information that you can utilize, and it's, again, just streamlined more quickly than having you manually review it. But of course, again, our motto is, anything AI, trust but verify. And to verify, we give you the second and third columns that you're seeing here. And I can use this drop down and I can actually select the office actions. I'll go there. We'll just go there. And this brings up the text so I can actually verify the output here that Gen AI gave me. So that's the purpose of these second and third columns. The other way to utilize Gen AI is to ask a question about the patent family or any claim in the entire family. So this is going to be US claims, European. We have that same user interface here. But again, we have some broader functionality here. It can, of course, look at any claim within the entire patent family, which is really great for subject matter. And if I use the drop down here, this is going to show you all of the claims for the entire family. So if if you have a patent family of, let's say, 30 patents, and you want to know which one covers, the iPad or AirPods 3, you can go ahead and ask that question specifically, really helping you to streamline that review and analysis. And then you do have the additional functionalities below, which are all very helpful, great time savers. Additional information and tabs can be found up at the top, such as the family list, direct access to the file wrapper, which does allow you to download zip files. You can also download and combine zip files for documents and things that are a priority or of most importance to you. Our USPTO transactions. And last but not least is going to be direct link to the assignment page, which is very helpful because sometimes the USPTO can be not user friendly and you got to jump through a bunch of hoops. But here I am immediately at the assignment page so I can see all of that pertinent information. So that's the quick overview of PatentPlex. Jen, any questions?
Just a quick reminder, what exactly are we using for AI in these situations?
Great question. So currently, the chosen model is Claude Sonnet. It is 4.6. That is the background AI model that PatentBots is currently using.
Great, thank you, Katie.
Of course. We do have additional information related to the backend Gen AI functionality on our website in our help desk, our help articles, very comprehensive knowledge base. So if there's some further questions related to security, et cetera, you can definitely feel free to check that out. All right, moving right along. We have a couple of minutes left, so not going to spend too much time here in examiner stats. Super easy to use. The search box up at the top, you will go ahead and enter in your examiner's name. We will help you find them. And then this is just chock full of information related to this particular examiner. We have a page for every examiner. At the very bottom here, you're going to find additional tabs for additional information, specifically related to those appeals, very costly, time consuming, and you want to make sure you have all of the best information when you're having conversations with clients and developing strategy. And I'm going to jump right into the last two, which is going to be PatentLink and PatentVerse. I will make these very quick. We'll go here to PatentLink. As I mentioned, I consider this to be an alerting and monitoring tool. It allows you to create custom and interactive lists of patents. And there are three kinds of lists that we allow you to create. The first being our standard list, the second being a notification list, and the third being the quality list or quality dashboard. And this is the one that I prefer to show just because it is fully comprehensive. It's very easy to create a list. You have this interface here for list info. You can give your list a name. The middle section is how you will add patents to that list. So we can do them by individual patent numbers. by patent family, customer number, as well as assignee. And then the last section on the right-hand side is for setting up email notifications. The first three that you see here, these are the most popular. That's why we've kind of segregated these out. So that's going to be a change in status, change in examiner, and new child application. I love the new child application notification, especially if you are competitor monitoring. You always want to know when they file a new child application. Um, but if you're looking for more notifications, you can enter transaction codes here. So it can be, if you want to know when a new office action is issued, you can certainly put in that transaction code to sign up for those email notifications, again, which are most important to you. So creating that list is super easy, take you a couple of minutes to do. I am going to show you an example of a list that I have made. So starting at the top left here, this list currently has 10 patents on it. You can see the notifications that I have set up for this. So it's a great reminder. If you're ever curious or you forget, what notifications did I sign up for, we provide that to you here. And this is going to be that list of those patents. Now, I selected a quality list. And the quality list are going to be these columns here that you see have color badges. It's all color coordinated and coded. The prosecution duration, very easy way to see the number of office actions, RCEs, appeals, as well as pendencies. Claim count, you can see the number of independent claims versus the total number of claims. So this is just excellent for portfolio management. We have every version of the claims. So if I look here, there were 4 independent claims and 21 total claims. And you can see this patent issued with 3 independent claims and 21 total claims. So it dropped an independent claim. So it's just a really great way to kind of oversee all of this information in one place. Claim length, you can see if that first independent claim was lengthened or if it was shortened. You can see what you're, possibly giving up. Claim errors, we do proofreading on every version of the claims for any patent that you provide on this list. So if you're litigating, seeing this red is really great. If you're not litigating, then seeing this red is not good. So we have our deadline here, which is going to be looking for, these are critical deadlines that could potentially result in abandonment. These are not every, deadline that you can think of. We're not trying to replace a docketing system, but again, things that could end up with an abandoned patent. This list is automatically synced with the USPTO. Very easy to hit the refresh or sync button that you see here. And we do give you confirmation that this list has been synced with the USPTO. So if you're doing this manually, maybe doing it in Excel currently, you know that you have to manually go in there and update. But here with PatentLink, this is synced, so you can get rid of that task. You don't have to do that manually. So that was a very quick overview of PatentLink. Jen, is there anything in the chat before I show PatentVerse?
No, continue with your last one.
All right. All right. We are time on target, 2:00. All right. I have about 30 seconds. All right. PatentVerse. So as I mentioned before, great for in-house patent teams to monitor quality of portfolios or outside counsel. You may be familiar with some of the PatentBot's quality rankings. If you're not, we do law firm rankings as well as companies. I'll just go ahead and click here on the law firms. PatentBots provides the top 50 here publicly. These are the top 50 firms out of 709 law firms. We give you the number of issued patents and their quality ranking. Again, we show the top 50 here for free just because we don't want to upset anyone who's further down the line. It's also a great way to see if you're a company who or what law firms are doing work for maybe some of your competitors. So I'll just go ahead and use Apple as a generic company here. I can go ahead and search this. This is the time period, number of issued patents, and the number of outside counsel law firms that they're working with, currently 29. Again, so you can see all of the law firms here if they have any quality badges. I'll go with Kilpatrick. And then you can also see who or what companies Kilpatrick is doing work for. So again, I want to make sure that they're not doing work for your competitor. Any conflict of interest there. All right. So we did have the chance to go through everything. I appreciate everyone's time. So what are the next steps? Well, the next steps are if you are not currently a customer, currently using PatentBots, and you'd like to give it a try, we do offer free 2-week trials right from our website. That's patentbots.com. You can click on that start free trial and you get 2 weeks free access. If you are interested in learning more about pricing and our subscription offerings, please feel free to email us at sales@patentbots.com. And of course, if you are a current customer and you need help, you can certainly reach out to support@patentbots.com, and our team is happy to help. Once again, thank you all. We do appreciate your time and hope that you enjoyed our demo today.